everybody. TGIF. And today is the day the Obamacare replacement gets voted on. And as the great Rosie Perez once said, and white men can't jump. Sometimes you win. Sometimes when you win, you really lose. And sometimes when you lose, you really win. It looks like the Republicans are going to be the big losers.
15 seconds.
Not that I'm gloating or anything, but I'm enjoying this so much. And speaking of white men, check out how many of them are deciding on women's health care in Washington right now. Look at this.
This is remarkable.
These are who deciding birth control, maternity care.
That's remarkable.
You know what happened today? I said to the research department here, I said, find me a picture of women, all women, they could not find the picture.
Really?
Yeah. And we have a crack team over here.
Yeah.
But no, they even went to Norway and I think Iceland because they have many women in power there. But it wasn't like this. It wasn't as many.
I mean, not to take anything away from these well-capable men, but I think who's my champion in the room? If there's a forum on prostate cancer or prostate health in general, and it's all women, I think some men are going to be raising their hand and saying, "Who's got my best interest in mind?" And I think we need to be asking that same question.
And it's worth repeating that birth control is not going to be covered. They don't want it to be covered.
It's not going to be mandatory that everyone's insurance cover it.
Well, this pick and choose thing is what they're discussing right now.
Right. They want to get rid of sort of these required.
But Viagra is covered under Medicare.
Yes, it is covered.
Yeah, if you have a prescription.
But prostate screenings are also part of what we pay into. But before I let you go, Sunny,
and that's going to be covered.
That is part of that. That's already covered in a lot of insurance plans, the screenings and stuff. But the one thing that confuses me here, and it feels a little bit like it's duplicitous, is the idea that it won't cover birth control, and they also Republicans want to take away anything to do with abortions as they are anti-abortion,
Of course.
but they also want to cut spending on Planned Parenthood. I don't know where women are supposed to go because you're taking away money from everything about our bodies and our natural function. And what are you supposed to do?
Why do you think interesting conversation. Why do you think men are like that with the men empowered? What is the problem?
Think it relates to them. It's interesting. I was reading yesterday that men over 60 are saying that maternity care doesn't apply to them. But what happens when you are on your third wife, like our president, and had a baby in his 60s? Right? I mean, that's what jumped out at me. So didn't he need maternity care for Melania? Well, and so why don't men think that they need it?
That's a great point, actually, because my answer to that, though, would be that then they can opt into a system that has that. I think, look, if you want women to make these decisions...
After the person's already pregnant?
No, but listen. Well, look, if you want women to make these decisions, first off, and I agree there should be women at the table, that's our responsibility. We have to vote them in. We have to get out there. We have to get women around the country who are good citizens, who care about these issues, and we have to put them front and center. So that's the first responsibility. Secondly, I think what conservatives are trying to do, I don't like this bill. I think there's major problems with this bill, and most of them are that they don't lower costs. They're promising to low cost. This bill doesn't do that.
It doesn't.
But in terms of options, if you have a 22-year-old guy out there who's struggling to get by, I don't want the federal government telling insurance companies he has one option. He has to get a plan that involves maternity care. He has to get a plan that involves coverage of birth control. That's not what his life looks like right at that moment.
It doesn't look like that right now. But the problem is, what happens when he gets the unexpected cancer and his prescription drugs aren't covered? Then it becomes a death sentence.
But if you have options in the system, then what it allows for is transition, so that you have a free market
because of pre-existing conditions.
That's why they want that out as well.
We're moving on, because no one is enjoying the Republican flop sweat right now more than Miss Nancy Pelosi, who could barely contain her glee when she gave Trump some professional advice. Watch. She's basically calling him a rookie, which is another word for incompetent. And here's my question to the panel. If he can't close this deal, he's the great deal maker, how much will that damage his reputation as the great deal maker?
Oh.
It's not just his reputation. And I mean, he ran on, yes, the art of the deal, but he also has to fulfill his promises. You've got, you know, Paul Ryan's neck on the line here. You've got Republican unity. There's so much on the line. But I will say the one thing that does restore my faith, there's nothing that bothers me more than partisan politics. People just voting down the Democratic line or Republican line. It's
been happening for quite a while
I know
now.
it's been happening, but I do, if anything, this is restoring my faith, because I do like that you have conservatives that are calling out Paul Ryan. This is not right, and we're not going to vote down party lines just because we're registered Republicans. So I do like the fact that there's some negotiating going on, and it has restored my faith a little bit in politics. And this plan, it's not right now. It's not right for America.
Wait, can I just ask a question? Is insurance not about, so let's say I want to get flood insurance and then your house floods. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pay for her house because that's not my house. I'm not going to pay for her flood. My point is that, like, with health insurance right now, these essentials that they have, is that what they're called? The essentials?
The essentials.
This guarantees that we're not leaving out people with mental health issues. This guarantees that in this opioid crisis we're having across the country, that we're making sure there's rehabilitation and all of these things.
Well, are you your brother's keeper or your sister's keeper?
I just feel like that.
Are you?
That's
the question we have to ask ourselves.
That sounds great, and if everyone had a pot of gold and a rainbow and a ton of money, that sounds great. But the problem is that when you do that, when you mandate that insurance companies cover all these things, you raise costs. So people have to decide. Are costs important to you? Because if you want costs to go down, there's not an endless supply of money. Somebody has to pay for that.
Norway and Denmark have universal health care.
Why is it when you say costs have to go down, somebody has to pay for it? Republicans and you never say take a little more from the top of the most rich people in the country.
For every problem.
Why not?
First
It
of all,
solves it in every other country.
Rich people.
It does. It solves it.
You don't think rich people pay a lot of money in taxes? I'm not rich. Look, I've never been rich, but I have a lot of rich friends. They pay a lot of money in taxes.
What about?
And you know what? A lot of those people were poor once, and they struggled to get where they are.
And Donald Trump never paid any taxes, as we know. And still, he's worried about all this money that he has to take.
Things like the obvious, the pharmaceutical companies. You've got companies that are making cost on these medicines that could cure people that we charge an arm and a leg for. If you buy the same product, this is interesting. If you buy the same product for your dog in this country, if it's an animal medicine that's exactly the same chemically, you will pay less because it's for your dog. We're letting pharmaceutical companies get away with murder. They're a big problem here.
And the insurance companies are as well. The problem that I have with this bill is that it is dependent on our insurance companies and our pharmaceutical companies being good corporate citizens. When is the last time you would describe one of those companies as good corporate citizens?
I wouldn't, but I also wouldn't consider the government a fair equalizer a lot of times. Obamacare has a ton of government involvement and regulation, and guess what? People's costs have gone through the roof. That's why they're coming out with alternatives.
Under the Affordable Care Act, a Harvard study just recently came out, I want to say just a couple of weeks ago. It has saved tens of thousands of lives, primarily because of those essential benefits.
We're talking about expenses. If this wasn't a hot issue, if you didn't have people saying, I can't afford this, it wouldn't have been a hot election issue. Republicans wouldn't have to come to the table with an alternative.
They voted
people are broke and they're saying, I can't afford
a lot of the people who voted this are going to get screwed. I'm just saying.
This is a bad bill. They should turn this down.
Okay. When we come back, I want to see how Melania is doing with her husband. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Still ahead.
Welcome back to the show. So not that we are gossips on this show, but sometimes we read them. Gossip sites which claim that Donald and Melania never spend the night together. This is Us Magazine, I believe.
Us Weekly.
Us Weekly. That's not really a gossip
Wait.
rag.
Spend the night together, like in the same house?
No, in the separate beds.
Separate beds, okay.
But how is there any room for Melania? He's already in bed with Putin.
Whatever blows your skirt up.
She's denied the claim, and one source in the article says that they sleep in separate beds but the same room. I always take issue with sleeping in separate rooms because I know, my husband used to be a terrible snorer, as I've mentioned, until he got this fantastic mouth guard, and
now it's like Hannibal Lecter.
Basically, but it's like a dental guard, and it's fantastic. But one day, he said, "I'm just going to sleep in the next room because you've got a big day tomorrow." And our daughter came in and was like, "Is everything okay? You guys were sleeping in different rooms." So I think it affects children when they
How old
see
was
that.
your daughter at the time?
Oh, this was maybe 3 years ago. So she was 7.
Yeah.
And she was really affected by it.
My grandparents, they're both no longer here, but my grandma Sarah Haynes, who I was named after, they slept in separate single beds. And I remember saying to my grandma, I was like, "But you have kids. How do you do that?" And she was like, "Not to say the carpet wasn't well worn in between."
The carpet.
I like that.
Grandma.
My grandparents were
Grandma
married.
was saucy.
Nana.
I was named properly.
Yes, you were. Apples didn't
Nana's
fall
into
far from the
different
tree.
positions, huh?
What?
Nana's into different positions.
Nana's spicy. She was a little ahead of her time. But she also said that, she goes, "You know when you wake up and your breath doesn't smell good?" And I was like, "You're keeping that from Grandpa?" Like, what a marriage you have.
You know what the French do? And they eat apples. That kills all of those.
Really?
Yeah, I read
Apples
that
are the
somewhere.
natural-
Yeah. Little
My
tips.
grandparents-
Little tips.
My grandparents were married for over
tips.
60 years.
You have so many tips. A lot of tips.
So what else?
I was
Go
just saying,
ahead.
my grandparents were married for over 60 years, and they slept in separate rooms, and they had 6 kids. So obviously,
Well,
it was well.
that wasn't every night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't every night. But I've got to say, my husband and I, like, we never sleep. And we're always in the same bed. But just recently, I said, "Honey, I think we got to start sleeping in separate rooms because he is snoring.
Yeah,
And
he's
he's keeping
the
me
dental
up.
guard.
He's keeping me up, and then I get him up on the weekends, and when I do Good Morning America, I was like, "Stop turning the lights on," and he'll build like a big pillow wall so that
I do that.
Yeah, so I just
You
think
do?
for the
I do.
betterment of our sleep, we need to sleep in
Dental guard.
separate
You go to the
rooms.
dentist, you get fitted, you stick that thing in, and
he
it
look
goes
like Hannibal
away.
Lecter?
No. The snoring. I wore earplugs for 7 years.
Wait. Let's just talk about the
7
fact
years
that Sunny
earplugs.
has at times said she laid down in bed with makeup and got back up after he went to bed, yet he shows up in like a Hannibal Lecter
Yeah,
mask.
I
And she's
mean,
like, "Let's get
It
on."
it keeps us in the same
You sleep
bed.
with mascara on, don't you?
I
She
like
gets
to look
up
cute.
after and wipes it up.
Cute. I don't like my husband to hear me tooting or
You're the total woman.
pooping.
Yeah,
She's
I
the
like
total
that.
woman.
She's
You
so
know,
elegante.
she doesn't let them see what she. Never let them see you sweat.
I like.
Uh-huh.
I like the mystique.
What about the ceiling? I use a ceiling fan, and the temperature in the room is 68 degrees in the middle of the winter. You can hang meat in my bed.
That's cold.
And he can't take it. He's under there with the thing wrapped. He looks like, a Saudi Arabian sheikh.
That's what I
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what my boyfriend does? I like having him in the bed. I wouldn't want to put him in another room. But you know what he does? I have an adjustable bed, and he sets the bed to
Like
one.
a Tempur-Pedic?
Yeah,
Do
right.
those work?
But he sets
My
it.
parents do too, Jed. I
No.
thought that was an age
No,
thing.
I like it when I get to sit up and watch TV.
No, it's a snore thing.
But he puts it to a certain level. Listen.
Let her tell it. Come on.
Sometimes that can keep
wanna
things
hear this.
spicy. I'm
You
just
have a
saying.
remote control
but
in bed?
He sets it to one thing at night, and then at 2 o'clock in the morning, he decides he wants to be more upright. So I find myself like, brrr. So I had to say, "Oh no, honey, you want to be in this bed? You got to pick your speed before you go to sleep."
Pick your position.
No, I just got. She's telling me in my ear, stop looking at your watch. But I'm reading here that President Donald Trump's former campaign chairman, Paul Manafort, remember him?
She does this through the whole
whole show.
has offered to testify before the House Intelligence Committee in its investigation of Russian meddling in the U.S. election.
Good.
Whoa.
You know? But Joy, don't you think?
Depends on what he's gonna say.
Well, come on.
Gonna say.
Well, as you pointed out, he's got an axe to grind, doesn't he?
Joy,
Well, he was let
Because he was
go.
fired.
He barely had a role. Barely.
The source is CNN.
excited you are
CNN.
now.
Don't you think they keep
I'm
saying there's
interested.
nothing to
I want to
hide?
see them. I don't
Yeah,
want them.
no, they
We'll be
should-
right
it's
back.
up-
I don't know if you get that. Welcome back. Does everybody know who Christina El Moussa is? El Moussa? How do you say her name?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Moussa. Moussa or
As a
Moussa?
frequent dessert eater, I'm gonna go with Moose.
Sounds
And as a
better.
person who has traps around her apartment, I say mouse. She's the star of the reality show Flip or Flop, and she's being criticized for sharing photos of herself and her young daughter in skimpy bikinis.
Oh yeah, you hear the reaction in the room.
I mean, I
don't know.
I'm not troubled by it in this, and I'm all for modesty, but I don't see anything sexual in the picture.
don't either.
This is not a sexualized photo. This is a little girl sort of being twinsies with her mom. Now, I am mindful because I prosecuted child sex crimes. There are a lot of creeps out there, and you've got to be careful about posting that because people will sexualize
You
it.
worried about that with your kids, Paul?
So if people
That's
will
the issue.
sexualize it, shouldn't you have a problem with it? Or
Well,
no?
but that's not the intent of it.
It was,
I-
it was a promotion for a swimwear line.
yeah.
Yeah. I
My,
don't.
my
no
husband
space.
would look at that, and if I dressed my daughter, who's 9 now, by the way, if I dressed her in a skimpy bikini like that, my husband's first response would be, "Where's her clothes?"
That's
So
your daughter.
I don't have a problem with the mom, but the daughter, because there's, for me, listen, you know I love to post videos, embarrassing videos of my children and photos as well. This was kind of a wake-up call for me, though, to just be careful of what I put out there. Because there are creeps, and you have
Because
to
of-
protect your children. You have to protect your
That's
children, and
the
that
only
falls on the
issue
parent.
that's the only issue I would have.
My biggest problem with this whole story is the mommy shaming and the parent shaming. Because I've never been more humbled as I am being a parent and not knowing what the hell I'm doing any day of the week.
Yeah.
I would never look at someone and say you're. And some of the feedback, by the
let's
way,
hear
is
that.
I agree. What mother does this and all these things?
Yeah.
That judgment is.
Yeah,
we feel that
exactly.
without anyone else posting
Yeah.
that. So the idea that I trust that she knows what's best for her child. And I don't think being a part of the negative rhetoric around that,
Yeah.
because I guarantee I've done 10 things wrong yesterday. You know, like,
Just
it's
10? Only 10?
that was a good day, Paula.
I mean, do you think her intent was to sexualize her child?
I don't. I think it was very
that's
innocent.
It's not her
And she
intent.
looks damn good for a woman that
I like
had a
to put,
baby.
I would, oh yeah.
Somebody looked like her if I'd come to work in that bikini.
Wait,
I'd like to,
wait,
wouldn't you like to put your head on that body?
Sears' body does look that
It
good.
doesn't. It doesn't.
We
I have
share a
mom
dressing
thighs.
room,
It's
and
fine.
trust me, she has a great body.
You just love me. So you love
Ladies,
No, enough with the
get a
lesbian.
room.
Do you think? Did you see?
No,
sex
I
in
didn't
it?
see sex. I mean, I had a little bikini when I was little. There's pictures of me with my little water wings on. I worry about catering to the creeps. There are creeps and there are crazy people
They're out there.
There are creeps
but
on your
they
show.
They're all over the
They
place,
can
too.
misinterpret anything, and it reminds me of that argument that you say to women about, there used to be men that used to say, don't dress like that or you're asking for it, and if you get it. I don't like that
I
philosophy.
don't like that.
Because you know what? She's doing nothing wrong.
It's not a
And I guarantee you there are people out there that responded negatively because they were jealous because she looks hot. She looks great. She looks
does.
fantastic.
She does.
And I think that's pretty...
The one person
you know,
wrote, "This is completely inappropriate. I'm done with your show. You're not making a good
Why?
mother choice."
Why?
I don't
Is that to
I don't
build
see that.
herself up for her? You know, like
Well,
I
they're
just find
hostile. They're
Why do
hostile.
people always have to go there?
Why do
does
you
it
put
always
negative
have to
energy out to the
Yes,
world
Now,
constantly?
if the picture was sexual in any way, that's different.
It's
But this
not.
looks like a mom and her kid having fun. And guess what?
They're
She looks
twinsies.
good.
They're twinsies.
And there's going to be some lunatic that
Didn't you say-
misinterprets
Is it an ad?
but
What is exactly
it's
it?
It's a
promotes
swimwear. It's a
Well,
swimwear.
then all we needed was the mother.
But it's
a
cute.
mom-daughter,
It's
like
a
matching.
Yeah.
Hey, Sonny, you brought this up in the meeting.
It's still a little skimpy for
but if
me.
it were two men,
My daughter.
or
If it were
a man, and a dad and a little boy, we would look at it and say that's cute and move right on.
Anything.
Not really.
Never say anything.
I disagree. If you had a father and the son in little Speedos, tight little Speedos,
I
I think
could say
for many people. It
anything.
would be a
But the
swim trunk.
Speedo
It
was
would
the
be
No, but
swim
wait a
trunk.
second. The pervs do not discriminate male or female.
No.
But I don't think
But
people
I'm
would
just saying that I
would
think
hammer
people's
it.
reaction would not have been as quick if it were a father and a son.
And don't
it
live
is.
your life catering to what a perv may or may not say. If you're doing something like that, you can't worry about that. She's doing nothing wrong.
Well, you have to worry about it.
You can't though.
have to worry about it.
Otherwise, you let those perverts run your entire life. I don't want them running her
They're
life.
trolls.
They're,
Listen,
yeah,
I'm
they're
not-
there to make
I
a
wouldn't
mess.
judge
and
the
cause-
woman, but she could use a little education that this is not the greatest thing to do. That's
I
all.
disagree.
I disagree.
I agree with you, Joy.
Disagree.
You agree?
Yep.
3-2. Na 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 na. We'll be right. We gotta go. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, I have a question. When it comes to romance, do you have a particular type? Because a new study says you do. At least when it comes to looks, education, and intelligence. I like a tall, funny guy who doesn't snore. That's my type.
You fall into that
He's
category?
2 out of 3. He's good.
There you go.
I think it's type is different, right? Like, are we talking about type in terms of looks or type in terms
Education,
of traits?
Everything.
personality,
I
all
was-
those things.
I was looking for someone that was loyal. Smarts were very important to me. I wanted someone that was Catholic, and I wanted someone that
get
wanted.
a poodle because they're really good.
And I wanted someone that had a family, but I also wanted someone that was very tall.
Tall.
And that went by the wayside as I got older. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care.
With every year I got older, the
5'7".
inches were cut off.
I didn't care about height. I wanted somebody that I could talk to.
Yeah.
It's more important.
I think I always like dark hair. That always woos me.
too.
Or dark skin. It's always dark something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they always seem to be Jewish. It wasn't part of something I was looking for,
Yeah.
but one by one, they're all, and that works against you sometimes,
Right.
because you're not
Sarah
Jewish.
does like the brothers.
I
by
do.
the way.
I like the brothers. I like the brothers, and I like the tribe. That's who I put mine with.
But I didn't realize I stood out as being very non-Jewish, so I remember meeting this ex.
You're what they call a shiksa goddess.
Yeah, well, I was a shiksa in this relationship. I was not a goddess, but I remember they were. I was going to meet the family. I was like, maybe they won't know I'm not Jewish. She's like, you're a blonde from Iowa. They're gonna know. And I was like, okay. So that seems to be my type. But always, I always thought sense of humor always woos me in crushes. I always have crushes on funny people.
Right.
But I end up with people that aren't super funny because I think I want to be the funny one.
Yeah,
You
you're
are
funny,
funny.
right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
But remember when I told you girls one time that people love you for making you laugh, not because you make them
that's
laugh.
true.
Wait.
That's
Stop.
They
Do
have
that
to
again.
make you
10
feel
seconds
fun.
behind. Wait, what?
If I am a comedian, right? So you assume a comedian has people who love them, but that's not true. People who love me are because I laugh at them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Shoot,
You're in
that's why
trouble.
I got married at practically 50. Okay.
The bar
I should
must
have been
be
laughing.
so high, though.
No, I find a lot of people funny. My husband's very funny. For a year, I
is.
never told him I was a comedian because I didn't want to, to upset him. And I didn't because
Yeah.
And then he was the one who was getting all the laughs.
He is
he
funny.
loved it. And
He is funny,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, who's your type?
John. My husband.
Could you be a little more vague?
No, but I will say this, though. Just because you have a type doesn't mean that that's what you need. That said, John, and you can attest to this, I was first attracted to him in college. We met in college. We're college sweethearts. I was in the broadcasting program, and he was like the star athlete.
He's like a really good basketball player. He still dunks the
But
ball.
you like
does.
athletes. You like athletes.
I am a sucker for. He's tall, he's athletic, and he has confidence, and he makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And at the end of the
common
day,
thread is that there's laughs in here.
You have to have
Yes.
laughs.
Life is too serious to not have laughs.
You need some. You need some funny.
Yeah. You and I are different, though. You always make fun. I like the very nerdy, like, I like brains. All of the guys that I've
smart,
dated have been really smart. Because
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to be
I
able
like
to
smart
talk
guys.
to them about stuff. This was a deviation for me, though. The guy that I'm dating now is very social. And I typically
is.
like nerdy, awkward, Peter Parker, guy in the corner of the room who's afraid to
You like
talk to you.
Spider-Man?
I'm in love with Spider-Man. Don't tell him. But, the guy I'm dating now is he's nerdy, but he's social.
He's a
and I
lot like your
realized,
mom.
right, but there's an advantage to that because I used to date guys and people used to say, like, what's this weird guy you date? And he can't, like, the guy I'm dating now mixes well. Like, it pushes me. I'm shy, so it pushes me to be more social. We always have great plans. So I'm like, all right, I'll give some points to the social guys. He's
very warm, too, which your mom is very warm.
Yeah, I do. We did a topic here, actually, where we talked about that, where you
Marrying
date
your
guys
parent.
that are like your mom.
Your mom owes me lasagna.
he's also
She
very.
owes me lasagna.
She
owe
promised me
everybody
lasagna,
lasagna.
and I never
She's
got it.
watching
All
now.
right, we
She's
have to
gonna-
go in a
You
minute.
owe me
but
lasagna.
I just want to say one thing about the lasagna, and then we're going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I made a lasagna for all of you.
I never got it.
Because Paula
Paula
took it
stole
home.
it.
Listen,
She gave me some.
I did give her some.
Anyway.
I didn't get any.
I'm not making another
Joy,
one.
those
What
were
am I,
the
Mama Leone?
stipulations.
I'm not making another one. We'll be right back. The hit series Blackish is a sitcom that is not afraid to take on real issues happening in America right now. And it's made this guy one of TV's most beloved dads. Please welcome Anthony Anderson.
You look like the captain of a boat.
I think I am. I'm the captain now. Hey, Silver Fox, the lady in red right there screaming for me as I walked
super
out.
fan.
I see.
I love
So,
it.
before you came out, we were talking about who our type is, Tall, dark, handsome is Sarah's.
Oh,
Dark.
yeah, handsome. Yeah, I get it.
She loves her brother.
She likes the brothers.
Yes,
So
yes.
what's your type?
Hey, Silver Fox, stand up right there. That's my type. Silver Fox, you girl. Yeah, I know what my type is. 818-266.
And the next 4 digits.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm at the Mandarin Oriental under my name. Call me.
You've been married for a long time, though, right?
27 years.
Yeah.
Well, not that long. Hold on, wait a minute.
Get it right. Get it right.
We've been together 27 years.
Okay.
Married 17.
What makes it work?
She's my type.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
she's a silver fox
She's
as
my
well.
type right there. I like them chocolate with a round derriere. I like them chocolatey. I like them chocolate.
Now, you have another celebrity in your family, your mom, Doris.
Yes.
Now, she's your sidekick.
Yes, she is.
Look at her, how beautiful.
My baby.
She's
My
just,
baby.
look how beautiful she is. She's your sidekick on your game show, To Tell the Truth. She
Yes.
just made a cameo on your show, Blackish. And you recently said that you love being able to give her a second chance.
I do, because she never really got her first chance in this business, and this is what my mother wanted to do. But she's a horrible actress.
I love you, Mom.
And we joke about that, and she was like, that's because I gave all my talent to you. But this is what she wanted to do growing up, so she's been living vicariously through me for the past 25 years that I've been working in this industry, and I'm at a place in my career where I can give her opportunity to live out her dream, and that's what we're doing now.
Is she loving it?
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
I've created a monster. I've created a monster.
We have something in common.
What do we have in common? Monsters as mothers? No.
My mother started online dating.
Oh, really?
Yes, she did.
And
And
is your mother?
my mother's and hers.
Don't give it away. Don't say
Don't
it.
say it.
She started online dating, which is slightly horrifying to me. I'm very protective
Okay.
of her. But I heard that your mom is hoping that being on TV lands her a couple of dates.
They've actually kicked my mother off of online dating. I don't know how you abuse the privilege of online dating, but my mother found a way to do it. My mom is a big freak. She is.
I think they have sites for that.
Trust me, my mama's been kicked off of those too. No, but she is. No, she uses her celebrity on To Tell the Truth, you know, and talk shows to find men.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Are you okay
I
with
know
her
that.
dating?
I'm not
and
okay
stuff?
with that. What?
Are you
I know, it's hard.
But are you protective of her
It's
now
hard.
that she's in that world?
Yeah, I'm protective of what? I'm protective of the men that my mother is going after.
There you go.
You have no idea. You have no idea what this woman is gonna do.
Okay, in January, Blackish aired an episode that dealt with kind of the post-election climate, and your character was accused by his coworkers that you weren't upset enough that Trump had won. You delivered a monologue that went viral instantly. Let's take a look at part of it.
All right, brother. All right. Thought Blackish was a comedy.
I'm smelling an Emmy. I'm smelling an Emmy.
Yeah, I get teared up every time I see that, because, you know, it was the sentiment, you know, of a lot of Americans. You know, Kenya Barris, who's my partner in this, and who actually created Blackish about both of our families, wrote this episode, and after the election, you know, felt moved to do it, and so that's why we did this. Yeah.
Did you get any negative pushback from that at all? Or?
I'm pretty sure there was some out there, but you know, for the most part, you know, people really responded, and that monologue in this episode resonated with our audience across the board, because everyone was feeling that, and a lot of people, you know, were talking about, you know, this was the anti-Trump episode. It wasn't that at all. This was a show about an election, and things didn't pan out the way that we did, and I believe we were fair with everyone's point of view from the show, pro and con for the election.
Yeah. I know we talked a little bit ago about some of the other shows that you're hosting. What is it, like 300 shows right now? I mean, you're
303.
Oh, I missed 3 of them.
Oh, you didn't get the memo that I'm sitting in for Whoopi on Fridays.
We didn't get that.
What are you talking about?
Whoopi, we didn't know he was going to say that. But anyways, you're hosting a show called Animal Nation. If any of you haven't seen it, it's great. Recently,
Yes.
you had the chance to see what a trained canine attack dog really looks like in that situation. So let's take a look at this video.
Yeah.
Get out of the house! Oh, okay.
felt that I asked for that to happen.
You did.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, yo, I want to be attacked by a German Shepherd. Like,
Well, and it
Put
sort
me
of
in the
evokes
suit.
the civil rights.
yeah,
Oh my gosh, Sonny, I didn't go there. That's interesting.
no, I didn't really think about that. Wait a minute.
I did.
No, but it was just something, I grew up watching, Jack Hanna and Stupid Animal Tricks on David Letterman and things like that. And so I got this opportunity to do this. I said, I want to do all kinds of stuff. I was like, I want to get attacked by a dog. I said, I want to play with snakes.
Snakes,
I said, I
too?
want Gila monsters, hawks, llamas, camels, emus.
Could you feel that? I know you had a suit on and protective gear, but
Yeah.
could you feel the bite?
You
Could you feel the dog?
it's all in your mind. You feel a phantom bite. And I will tell you
phantom
that
bite? It didn't look like a
suit,
phantom bite.
That suit is made out of linen.
You're kidding.
French linen.
But you were
Why is it so
legitimately scared.
fancy?
Yeah, you're right.
Why is it French?
Who knew? But you don't feel it. It's thick, and you just feel the pressure. But the bite, you just start to imagine that.
Was there a safe?
Psychological.
Oh, there was a safe word. I think I yelled it. And the dude, that sucker, he put me in that chair knowing that he was going to pull that chair out from underneath me. That wasn't playing. So because when we first did this, he said, okay, Anthony, if you fall to the ground, ball your fist and try to sucker me in and say this word. I forget what the word was. And he put me in the chair the second time and yanked the chair out from underneath me as the dog was at. Yeah, he pulled out and he's laughing hysterically. Yeah, I was given whatever word he told me, the safe word.
It's a little bit of an S&M thing, right?
Oh,
Don't talk. I gotta go.
Yeah, well, I'm a freak. Talking about my mama.
I knew your mom.
Like the song said, I get it from my mama.
That's Anthony Anderson. Blackish airs Wednesday nights at 9:30 right here on ABC. We'll be right back.
All right.